morning and welcome, children. I hope you're fit and fine. You're taking care of yourself, staying at home, and obeying your parents. Once again, I'm here to teach you English language. I'm going to teach you idioms today. It's a continuation of last week's video, and I hope you have learned what idioms are. I taught you that idioms are short sayings in conversational English which carry a figurative meaning. This means that its actual meaning is different from its literal meaning. An idiom has to be understood by looking beyond the words that compose it. So once again, I'm going to teach you a few idioms today. As I teach you, children, please pay attention on the screen. The first idiom, that is on the fence, which means neutral, not choosing one or the other. This means not take sides in a dispute. It is a very common idiom in English to describe a person's lack of decisiveness or hesitance to choose between two sides in an argument or a competition, or inability to decide due to lack of courage. Okay, children? Now let's have a look on the first sentence that is framed with this idiom. He is a clever politician, so he is always on the fence on conversational issues. What do you mean by conversational issues, children? Do you know the meaning of conversational issues? It means a dispute, especially in a public one, between sides holding opposing views. So, he is a clever politician, so he is always on the fence on conversational issues. Now, the second sentence, children. She did not know whether to say yes or no to the proposal. She was sitting on the fence. So, she was not able to decide whether to say yes or no. So, she was sitting on the fence means she was neutral. And the third sentence we have, he did not want to say no to either of them, so he was just sitting on the fence. So the person wanted to stay neutral, the person did not want to side anyone, so the person stayed neutral. Okay, this means this. Now the second idiom is needle in a haystack. The meaning of this idiom is something hard or impossible to find. Now just have a look on the first sentence, children. She was trying to find her daughter like a needle in a haystack when she got separated in the mall. So it was very difficult to find the daughter because she was separated in the mall. Mall is a place where too many people come there and it's very much crowded. So it was very difficult to find her daughter. That means as it is very difficult to find a needle in a haystack, in the same way it was difficult to find her daughter who got separated in the mall. Now just look at the second sentence, children. I tried to find my lost key in the sandy beach, but it was like finding a needle in a haystack. It was very difficult to find the lost key in the sandy beach. Now look at the third sentence here. He vanished in the city like a needle in a haystack. It was very difficult, once again, it was very difficult to find the person who vanished in the city. Now look at the third idiom here, children. The third idiom is loose cannon, which means a person who is sometimes unpredictable and sometimes out of control. Look at the sentences here. The first one, no one wanted to invite him because he is a loose cannon, because he is sometimes out of control and unpredictable. So people don't want to call trouble. So no one wanted to invite him because he is a loose cannon. The second sentence, he's a loose cannon and would not be a good choice for a leader. He won't be a good choice for a leader because he's sometimes out of control. And the third sentence is here, he was considered to be a loose cannon due to his volatile temper. Volatile means a person liable to change rapidly and is unpredictable, especially for the worse. So he was considered to be a loose cannon due to his volatile temper. Now the fourth idiom, children, that is lay your cards on the table, which means to reveal all the facts openly and honestly. The first sentence here is, John lay his cards on the table before asking Sarah's hand in marriage, which means John openly and honestly told everything about himself before marrying Sarah. Now look at the second sentence, children. We suggested the boy to put all his cards on the table and tell us exactly what happened, which means we suggested the boy to tell openly and honestly about what happened. Now look at the third sentence here, children. When the child lay all her cards on the table, the teacher gave her a second chance. That means when the child admitted and honestly spoke about everything, the teacher gave the child a second chance. Now the next idiom, children, that is in the same boat, which means in the same bad situation, sharing the same problem or difficulty. Look at the first sentence here, children. Since we are in the same boat, we must work together as a team. Which means since we are sharing the same situation, we are going through the same problem, we must work together as a team. Now the next sentence here, John said that he hated his job, to which Meg retorted that they were all in the same boat. Do you know the meaning of retorted? Retorted means say something in answer to a remark. John said that he hated his job. So Meg also said in answer to what he said that they were all in the same boat, means they all hated the job. Now look at the third sentence here. I know this is a difficult work, but we are all in the same boat here, so we'll have to do this together. I hope this idiom is clear, children. Now the next one and the last one, that is heart of gold, which means extremely kind, caring and generous. Just pay attention on the sentences here. The first one, she shared whatever she had with the poor as she has a heart of gold. Because she is extremely kind, caring and generous, she shared whatever she had with the poor. The second sentence, although Mr. Robert is very poor, he has a heart of gold. In spite of being very poor, Mr. Robert is kind, caring and generous. Now the third sentence, that is, most grandmothers have a heart of gold. I hope everybody knows this. All your grandmothers have a heart of gold because they all are caring, generous and extremely kind towards their grandchildren. Now the last sentence for this idiom is, my neighbor has a heart of gold. She always looks after me when our parents are not at home. So she is very kind, caring and generous, and she looks after us when our parents are not at home. I hope, children, you have understood the meaning of these idioms which I have explained to you just now, and you have gone through the sentences also which I read it for you, and you have understood how to use these idioms in sentences. So children, I want you to do one thing. I want you to write the meanings along with the idioms which I taught you, and all the sentences which I have shown you and read it out for you in your rough notebook. And I want you to do one thing, children. Apart from these sentences which I have shown you on the screen, I want you to write one sentence of your own with these idioms. Okay, children, I hope it's clear. And you try to use these idioms when you're writing paragraphs, when you're writing essays, so that you are able to improve your English. Isn't it? That's all for today, children. Thank you and have a nice time.